Well, the first week of Parliament, and we have moved to establish the Senate inquiry into the deadly toxic algae bloom in South Australia. The Senate voted on that this morning. Voted on that last night. It's now established, and I look forward to South Australians and experts feeding in to that Senate inquiry, and for us to be being able to really get into the details of what the government knew before this deadly toxic algae took hold, and really hear from the impacted communities about what is going on, and from the experts about what we need to do. As South Australians have been battling this deadly toxic algae on our own for weeks and in fact months, and while we welcome the $14 million from the federal government, we know that we are going to need a lot more. This inquiry will be important for making sure we have a national spotlight on what is happening, because this isn't an issue that South Australia should have to manage on our own. If this was happening on the Bondi Beach or the North Shore of Sydney, there would be a much bigger response. It is shocking that today experts have revealed that the impact on the environment, on wildlife and the marine life is very similar to the loss of wildlife and the damage of the environment of the Black Summer bushfires. I mean, that is the extent of this environmental catastrophe. This deadly toxic algae is creating an extinction event in our oceans. More dead fish, more dead dolphins, even yesterday, dead turtles washing up on the shores in South Australia. This is an extinction event, and we're going to have to battle with it for a long time to come. It's going to require more federal funding and more attention. So we've got the inquiry up, which is good, a parliamentary inquiry to manage and investigate, and to hear from South Australians, the affected businesses and experts. But we still need the federal government to do what everyone wants, and that is to declare this a national disaster. Because unless it is elevated to that level, the federal government will move on and forget about what is going on in South Australia. This requires a full-blown response. It is an extinction event and requires a proper national declaration of emergency. Any questions?
There has been some commentary from experts suggesting that species should be removed from the affected areas and then perhaps reintroduced. Is this something that could be done going forward?
Yeah, look, I think we have to have all options on the table. This is a mass extinction event unfolding in our oceans and on our coastline. We have to take whatever measures needed to ensure that we protect the existence of our marine life. And if that means experts, as experts have proposed, moving species to protect them from going extinct, we may very well have to do that. We need all options on the table, and that's partly why this parliamentary inquiry is so needed. I'll be chairing that inquiry. We will make sure we come to South Australia, we hear from the locals, but we also hear from experts and the researchers and scientists, not just in Adelaide, but right around the country, and indeed around the world.
Do you think it's a bit rich that the Water Minister was at an international oceans conference just recently saying that Australia's world leading on our protection of the oceans when this is happening?
Well, I tell you what is extraordinary is that having our minister attend that UN conference, the world's leading conference on oceans, and really had no idea, it seems, of the extent of this catastrophe that was unfolding in South Australia in our oceans. It was quite clear that the Minister for Environment and Water was not across his brief before he went to that event.
Senator Hanson-Young, on just a separate matter, why did the Greens team up with Labor to vote against the inquiry called for by Farmer Payne into staffing?
Look, I think there's a few conversations that have happened around that, but my understanding is we're waiting for the independent report to be released, and once we see those recommendations, then we'll look at what needs to happen. It's a process of wanting to see that report.
What would you say to concerns? There's been a lot of crossbenchers that have been quite open about their staffing allocation, what they've got or don't have. The Greens haven't really had good numbers. They've sort of said, quite vaguely. There's a bit of concern that maybe you guys have done a bit well, and that's why maybe you teamed up with Labor to vote against this sort of inquiry. What would you say to those concerns from other members of the Parliament?
Oh, look, I would say to all of my parliamentary colleagues, the people of Australia want us to get on with our jobs and stop thinking about ourselves. They want us to be working for them and not focused internally. I've seen too much attention already. We're only back for, this is day 3, and already it seems so many, it's only day 3 and already it seems some members of the Parliament are stuck in the bubble.
Legislation, some of this move from penalty rates, protections. Are there any amendments that the Greens are willing to make? A few industry leaders have criticised the reforms. Where do the Greens stand on that?
Yes, so we will be going through that piece of legislation carefully. Obviously, we want to make sure people's penalty rates are protected and that people get paid for the work they do. And that's really important. So many Australians rely on and have to work outside of normal hours. They need to be paid properly for that, and those penalty rates are important. So we will look at the legislation, we'll consider if it needs any amendments, but we will, we're open to working and negotiating with government so that we can protect people getting paid for their, their good day's work.
Just returning to the Greens' decision to side with Labor in that committee vote earlier, are you able to rule out whether the Greens did do a deal with the government on that in order to maintain staffing numbers?
What we've done is looked at those proposals that were put to the Senate, and we've said very clearly we want to see that independent report released. We want to look at those recommendations. We want to and then be able to consider what needs to happen next. I don't think we need a politically charged inquiry before we know what the independent experts say. Let's get the views from the independent experts. Let's get those recommendations, and then look at what needs to be done. But I urge all of my fellow parliamentarians, the Australian people want us as a parliament to deliver for them. People are finding it really tough right now. Cost of living is crippling. Our environment is in crisis. We have an extinction event happening in our oceans in South Australia. They don't want us focused on feathering our own parliamentarian offices and desks.
Are you able to reflect on what happened yesterday in regards to your Senate colleague, he also the combination of senators who have been doing their back to what
Well, I think Marine has put very clearly her position on this, and I did say yesterday that I understand the uncomfortable nature of that protest may have made some people feel uncomfortable. But kids are starving to death in Gaza. And just because something is uncomfortable doesn't mean we don't have to confront it. And I just urge the Australian government and the opposition, we need to do more to help bring peace to Gaza and to make sure children, the starvation of children, is not used as a weapon of war. Starving children as a weapon of war is illegal, immoral, and just can never, ever be justified. In relation to the One Nation senators turning their back on acknowledgement of country, I think it shows they're un-Australian.